A lot of people think they're too much or too deep. But when you really look at it, that's not actually the problem. The problem is where they've learned to adjust. Because if you pay attention, it usually shows up in small ways. You start holding back your thoughts. You simplify what you want to say. You stop going into detail because you can already feel that it's not going to land the way you meant it. So instead, you shorten yourself. You make things easier for other people to receive. And after a while, that starts to feel like your personality. Maybe you're just someone who needs to tone it down. But most of the time, that didn't come from nowhere. It came from being in a space where people don't engage deeply, conversations stayed surface level, or when you express more, it wasn't fully met. So you had to adapt. Not because you were too much, but because the environment had a limit. And instead of questioning the limit, you questioned yourself. That's how people end up believing they're too deep, when really they've just been in places that can't hold depth. And once you understand that, something shifts. Because now, it's not about fixing yourself, it's about recognizing where you don't need to shrink anymore. When you can actually finish your thoughts, where you don't have to translate yourself to be understood, and the takeaway isn't start being more everywhere, it's more specific than that. Pay attention to where you naturally hold back. That's usually a sign of the environment, not a flaw of you. And once you see that clearly, you stop labeling yourself as too much and start being more intentional about where you show up fully. And I feel like that's where my community thrives. If you'd like to be a part of it, the link is in the bio.